Welcome to the Manx Theatre Podcast.
Come on to the theatre.
Hello, and welcome back to episode 45 of the Manx Theatre Podcast with me, Neil Callin. Thank you to everyone who's listened to our previous episodes. If you're brand new to the podcast, welcome along and thanks for joining us. In this podcast, we like to try and keep you up to date with what's going on in theatre on the Isle of Man, chatting to the cast and creatives of upcoming shows to find out a little bit more about the shows and the people behind them, and also to find out what our Manx-born and bred performers are doing further afield.
Coming up on this week's podcast.
I'm joined by Claire Temple and 4 of her students from St Ninian's High School who are starring in Six the Musical Teen Edition this week. You can still listen to all of our previous episodes through all of the usual podcast outlets and at manxradio.com/podcasts. Whilst you're there, make sure to give us a like and click subscribe or follow or whatever it is you need to do to make sure you never miss an episode. Now, as I mentioned in the last episode, Madford's Easter Festival of Plays kicks off at the Gaiety on Saturday the 8th of April and runs every night through to Friday the 14th of April. In a change to previous years, the One-Act Festival and the Festival of Full-Length Plays have been combined, although will still be run as 2 separate competitions. The programme for the week is as follows. On Saturday the 8th, the festival opens with 2 one-act plays. They are Lovers by Tony Rushworth, presented by the Service Players, and Sweep Under the Rug by Lindsay Price, which is an entry in the youth competition from Broadway Theatre Company. On Sunday the 9th, the first of the full-length plays with Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett, presented by Wellington Theatre Company from Telford in Shropshire. This will be their 8th visit to the festival. Monday the 10th is the second full-length play, with White Cobra Productions of Northamptonshire staging The Lonesome West by Martin McDonough. Tuesday 11th sees the return to the one-acts, with 2 youth productions and Platform Theatre School staging Heritage by Davith James and William Wymark's The Monkey's Paw from Parados Theatre Company. On Wednesday 12th, there are 3 one-acts for you to enjoy. 1 youth entry and 2 adult performances. First up is In Drama with their youth drama Chiller, written by Ireland resident Christopher J. Mabry. This is followed up by the second entry from the Service Players with the production of The Photograph, also written by another of the island's writers, Lisa M. Smith. The evening finishes with the Russian Players' performance of Accident of Birth by Trevor Suthers. Thursday the 13th sees the last 2 entries in the one-act competition, with a second appearance from In Drama with a performance of Faces in the Dark, again by Christopher J. Mabry, followed by the Russian Players with their second entry, September in the Rain by John Godber. The Garden Suburb Theatre from North London round off the festival on Friday the 14th with the final full-length play, The Game's Afoot, or Homes for the Holidays by Ken Ludwig. At the end of each night, you'll be able to hear the adjudicator's remarks on that evening's performances. And on the Friday night, following the performance and the adjudicator's comments, the awards for each category will be awarded. Between the adult and youth one-act competition and the full-length competition, there are quite a few awards to be handed out. So don't be surprised if this turns out to be quite a late night. Further afield, Perry O'D is enjoying wonderful reviews as part of the cast of Guys and Dolls at the Bridge Theatre in London's West End. Perry is playing Angie the Ox, alongside Daniel Mays as Nathan Detroit, Marisha Wallace as Miss Adelaide, and Cedric Neal as Nicely Johnson. Guys and Dolls is playing at the Bridge Theatre until the 2nd of September 2023. Now, on last weekend's Red Nose Day coverage, we saw a performance from the cast of Mrs. Doubtfire the Musical, which is due to open at the Shaftesbury Theatre on the 12th of May. We also saw some of the island's very own Matthew Overfield sporting a rather fetching Angela Merkel costume in the performance, which comes from the scene where Daniel's brother and his partner try several different looks to create Mrs. Doubtfire herself for the very first time. Mrs. Doubtfire is currently available for bookings right the way through to January 2024. So that's going to keep Matt out of trouble for quite a while. Make sure you keep up to date with what's going on between episodes by following Manx Theatre Podcast on both Facebook and Instagram, and at Manx Theatre Pod on Twitter. Right, down to business. I'm joined in the studio today by Kasha, Eve, Chi and Ailish, along with their teacher Claire Temple from St Ninian's High School, ahead of their upcoming production of Six the Musical, Teen Edition, on the 28th, 29th and 30th of March. Ladies, welcome to the Manx Theatre Podcast.
Hi.
It's amazing to be surrounded by so many people here on the podcast, because normally it's just sort of me and maybe one or two other people, but we've got a whole studio full today. It's great. Uh-huh. So let's go down the line then, ladies. So if you want to tell me who you are and what your role is in the show. We'll start with you, Claire.
So my name's Claire. I'm head of music at St Ninian's, and I'm the director and musical director of Six.
Marvellous.
My name is Kasha and I play Anne Boleyn.
My name is Eve Bazaar and I play Anna of Cleves.
My name is Chi and I play Catherine of Arrig.
My name is Ailish and I play Jane Seymour.
Marvellous. And we're also missing, is it Emma and Eva?
Yeah.
And they're playing the two Catherines.
Yes.
Yes. Right, so give us a bit of an idea about Six, what the show is about.
It's kind of like a concert more than a musical, kind of. It's kind of a lot of interacting with the audience, a lot of history, a lot of education.
Women empowerment.
Yes, absolutely. Sass.
Songs.
Yeah. It's great because all the characters are so different.
Yeah.
And so it's just great fun and
A family
inclusivity.
environment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a good family show.
Yeah.
Of course, this is the teen edition of the show, so
Yes.
there are a few spicy lyrics in the original, so I'm assuming they've
Some of
been
them are
toned down a little
taken out,
bit.
There's still a bit of innuendo,
Yeah.
gentle innuendo, but all the more saucy parts have been taken out.
Do love a bit of genuine innuendo, though.
Yes.
Yeah. So the show then it's kind of has them sort of set up as like a bit of a Spice Girls kind of a setup.
Yeah,
Definitely.
girl band.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
each
absolutely.
queen is inspired by a particular pop star
Right.
as well. So one of them's supposed to be like Ariana Grande and Britney Spears. One of them's Lily Allen. You know, so it's that kind of thing. So not copying that pop star, but it's supposed to be inspired kind of by the pop star.
So who's getting to riff then, big time?
I'm a riffer.
Yeah, so what you said, it's kind of like a musical and a history lesson all in one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but like a history lesson you enjoy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like just a load of knowledge at you.
And it's supposed to be telling the stories from the women's point of view,
Slightly
rather than
altered
always
stories.
rather than always doing it from Henry's point of view and them just being one of his wives.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be putting the spotlight on them rather than always referring to Henry.
And I think as well with the show, it kind of it puts a light on the fact that Henry's is only as famous or infamous as he was because of the six wives.
And that's actually one of the last lines in the show.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that
We're all icons.
he's only famous because of his six wives.
Yeah.
Who even calls Henry?
Henry who? Which one?
Yeah, and it's only because of Anne Boleyn that he sort of went off on one.
I
and,
guess.
Yes.
Yeah, honestly, I completely agree.
Also, arguably
Better.
Yeah.
well, yeah, okay.
well, he was so torn by her beauty that it forced him
Yeah,
to
exactly, guys.
leave the Catholic Church and set up the Church of
Yeah.
England.
Yeah.
He also thought I was really beautiful.
And then he saw you in real life.
No.
Maybe not.
That's the House of Holbein, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get down.
Yeah. You know, obviously it's one of those things where, you people get too caught up on their filters, and actually when you see them in real life, they're not quite the same.
Yeah.
But that's not me. I'm still so stunning. So bad.
Yes, because the story about that is that he kind of fell in love with her painting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously in
Hans
that,
Holbein.
yes, and in those days, then people obviously were paid to make themselves. The paintings were made to look as beautiful as they possibly could, and then when it actually came to it, she wasn't quite as
Well,
attractive
but
as
then
the
I ended up rich and
Yeah. So
amazing, so
So every
who cares?
time.
I don't need him.
So Claire, tell us a little bit more about the production itself.
So it's slightly different to the professional production estates because it's a teen edition and they encourage you to have an ensemble in it. So we've got an ensemble of 20
Right.
in ours as well. So they join in with a lot of the dance numbers. So they're not in every single song, but they're in most of the songs. And yeah, just that it's been a really great experience, I hope, for all of them. But I mean, these 6 girls have just been absolutely amazing through the whole thing. They've really like gelled as a 6. No, but they've really gelled as a 6, you know. And they're a real kind of inspiration for the people in the ensemble, I think, as well. But I have to mention as well that we've got Leah Carter choreographing the show. So that's really lent a kind of a bit of a professional edge to it, you know, having kind of a professional dancer choreographer, you know, involved in it, because she is an ex-student of St Ninian's as well, so she was quite glad to come back and do a bit. So yeah, that's been brilliant, and that's been great for them as well to work with someone like Leah. Has been really good. So yeah.
So is this the first time? I mean, I recognise a couple of faces here. I think I've seen you in I think I've seen Chia definitely in some Taylorian, but and I'm sure Ailish has been around doing a few bits as well. But is this the first time for the rest of you, or have you been involved in other things as well?
Well, the 3 of them, Ailish, Eve and Cash, were all in Moana. Recently,
right.
That was the last show they did. And yeah, you've all been in several things, haven't you? Annie.
Yeah.
And
it's just a way of life now.
Yeah.
It is. It does get that way. Yeah.
It is, definitely.
Every day needs like a tap dancing song.
I think I started my musical theatre journey with Moana. And then I've kind of just been doing a load of other things since. It's just been so much fun. But yeah, my first show was Moana, so I don't think many people would know who I am.
She is actually the young singer of Man this year, so...
Yeah. People see it. Yeah, some people might know me from that.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
So this is the start of the journey for you then, really. So you've had the...
I mean, yeah, I've kind of been singing for like quite a while, but I've kind of just now jumped into, you know, the gaiety, and it's just been so much fun. It's amazing.
I think the good thing about this show is it's the opportunity for 6 girls to be leading ladies.
Yes.
You know, rather than just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You know, it has, you know, and we have got the ensemble too, because I was kind of worried about doing it at first because it was only going to be 6 people. But then with them saying that, you need to have an ensemble, that did, you know, it opened it up to more girls. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a good thing because they are all equally as important. There's no kind of one weak part in it. You know, they are literally all 6 leading ladies, which you don't get very often, you know, in a show. So,
yeah. So, I mean, I think I've seen photos online as well. I've seen a photo of an executioner as well. And...
Yeah, we haven't got that in ours. That was the Kosovo Russian production.
Yeah, I think they added their characters.
They added a few characters in
into
theirs, but yeah, we're just sticking with the 6.
No, I don't think it was the Castle Russian. I think it was an online, a professional version.
Really?
Maybe,
right, okay.
Or maybe just another
maybe
production
another production. Yeah. But yeah, no, we haven't got that in ours.
Yeah. So which of you is Oh, I don't know what the question I was going to ask then. It kind of came and it went.
Can I just say that she's also our dance captain and assistant choreographer.
Legend.
So she has choreographed parts of the songs as well, which has been brilliant.
And Get Down. And Mega Six.
Mega 6.
Which is like all the songs from each of the queens put together. And it's like a finale.
Yeah, it's kind of like the bows almost.
Like a big mega mix at the end.
Yeah.
She makes it really intense.
Yeah.
So once we think we're done, we're not. We've got one more song.
Upper key, twice as fast.
Yeah.
So which is your favourite number in the show then? Or is it because you've all got your own individual numbers?
I think they've all got their own individual numbers. Personally, for me, House of Holbein is my favourite because it's just the most...
It's a bit of 90s techno, isn't it?
It's the most bonkers song. And it reminds me of being like at college, you know, like, clubs. It's just... And they're so funny. They all freestyle dance in it. And it's and we're going to have glow sticks and all sorts in that. So it's going to be a proper like rave. Awesome. The parents will love that. Yeah. The parents will get the reference to that one, definitely.
Excellent. So this the production is going to be up. Is it the Bemahague site?
Yeah.
Up in the have they got a proper sort of theatre?
We're just doing it in our school hall.
In the school hall,
yeah, and which seats about 250 people.
Good.
So it means that over the 4 nights we could get potentially like 1,000 people coming to watch.
Right,
if we have
Hopefully.
enough. We're also doing a primary performance in the afternoons where we've got 4 of our feeder primary schools are coming to watch, which would be good. So yeah, so lots and lots of people will see it hopefully.
Brilliant. Yes, I mean it's proved to be a very popular show regardless of where it's been. It's like the London show was just massive, and the touring version as well that sold out pretty much everywhere it went. And I know that you mentioned it a little bit earlier, the Castle Russians production.
Yeah.
They had to release more tickets because it was so popular.
It's just, it has become a bit of a cult show, I think, and it's really popular with kind of young girls, you know, like kind of year 6 kind of and above. It's become this real kind of mega thing for them, I think. So
were you tempted to go and watch it yourselves, or do you think, no, got to keep it away, keep my own version?
We have. Me and Ailish went to see it in January in Liverpool.
I watched it I think I watched it like last year. It was quite insane because I've never seen a proper show before, like not on the Isle of Man. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, I watched it in London, and it's nice watching things because you know how different they've done it, and like you take things you like, and then you're like, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Because the good thing about 6 is that you're supposed to do it whoever the 6 are that you've got.
Yeah.
So in the one that we saw, the Anne Boleyn was like really northern,
and
the Catherine Parr was American,
right?
Because they just are northern and American. I think you saw one, Kasia saw one where one of them was Australian.
Yeah,
you know, they do it in their own accents. Because we were thinking of kind of giving each of them an accent, and decided actually no, that doesn't work. You just are you. You know, you're supposed to kind of be you. Yeah, we tried a few accents, didn't really work, so we sacked off that idea very quickly. But they're supposed to be extreme versions of themselves almost. Yeah. You know, which is a good thing.
I saw there was a similar thing with Mamma Mia in London, and I didn't know this at the time. And the 3 dads, the nationality of the 3 dads changed depending on who were playing them.
Yeah,
and I'd always known that one of the dads was supposed to be, or like, you know, like in the original cast was Australian anyway. And I saw it with an ex-girlfriend, and she was from Melbourne in Australia. And it came on, and whichever dad it was, he was Australian and he was from Melbourne, and she's like, "That's a good Melbourne accent." And I was like,
he was from
really
Melbourne,
good Melbourne accent. And then the interval, he was from Melbourne, went to the Melbourne School of Performing Arts, worked at the Melbourne Theatres. Like, yeah, he's from Melbourne. That's why his Melbourne accent's so good.
But I like it because it means that they can be a bit more themselves.
Yeah.
You know, when they're on stage, and it means that as a group they've really kind of come together because they're just being themselves, and they are all friends.
And put your own bit of individuality on it, onto it as well.
Yeah, which I think is really nice.
Just being over the top
ourselves, which is good though.
Our ad libs are a bit.
The ad libs.
It's so distracting. Like sometimes I just need to laugh, but I'm like, I'm trying to stay in character. She's got to avoid eye contact.
Yes. Brilliant. So as you're all sort of still fairly new to theatre, I mean, the most of you been sort of 2-3 years, 4 years maybe at most?
Probably longer.
Probably longer. Well, yeah, I suppose Ailish has probably been doing it since she could walk, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're still at sort of at the start of your career, theatrically wise. Is there a role that's the ultimate, your absolute ideal role? Oh, I can see eyes lighting up already.
List.
Yes, you got a fat list.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, top of mine is Jenna from Waitress.
Oh, very good. That's a great choice.
Mine is probably Tracy Turnblad from Hairspray. I've been in love with that movie for my whole life, seriously.
That is a great show. I too would love to play Edna.
Yeah. Absolutely, let's do it.
I had a little taster a couple of years ago in a Taylorian Christmas show where I got to play it. We did Welcome to the 60s, and I ran on full dressed makeup, still with the beard.
Amazing,
nice,
great fun. Just made the costume change, the makeup change, just in time to run on stage in time for my first line. Jake?
When I was younger, when Beetlejuice first came out, I wanted to be Lydia from Beetlejuice. I'm like, as I get older, I need to do it quicker and quicker. Time's running out where I can still play like 14-year-olds.
No, you got plenty of them. Yeah. There are many 28, 30-year-olds playing 14-year-olds on Broadway and in the West End.
That's me.
Ailish?
I would say Elphaba from Wicked.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's a big
It's
one,
a
that
big
is.
one.
That's a big sing as well.
Yeah.
Has she got the pipes, Mum?
Yeah, I think so. And also, I think all of them would probably like be in Heather's. I think Heather's. They would
I think we've already assigned roles for it.
There is a Heather's teen edition.
There is a Heather's teen edition. I can't decide like how they could possibly do it. I haven't seen Heather's a couple of times, so I think it would be a bit controversial. Maybe I'm not sure the Isle of Man's ready for the teen version of Heather's. So
got to feel that there must be a lot chopped out from it because there are some quite mature themes.
Well, even just the storyline, I don't. I can't see how they could possibly do it. But yeah, it is so good.
Just change some of the
so that's, you never know, that might be our next one, but yeah. Leave that there.
I would be here to do it.
Okay, that one doesn't work because none of you are too old.
Apart from me.
I had a question it's a new question that I've brought into the podcast.
Yeah.
It's about the fact that in the last 10-15 years there's been lots of really great new shows that have come out, things like Dear Evan Hansen and The Waitress and lots of things like that. And I started asking people, is there a role now that you would have loved to play but you can't because you're too old? I mean, for me, I would have loved to have played Evan Hansen, but I'm 44
Matilda.
Well,
and I can't
Shape.
play 17-year-old.
I think for them, Matilda and
Yeah,
well, I think the
Matilda.
thing with especially Ailish is that now they're doing School of Rock again.
Yeah.
Oh,
And a lot of them
Yeah,
missed out on doing School of
literally-
Rock last time
Yeah.
because of COVID, so it's just really a shame.
Well, she's
Smiling
so
through the
good.
pain.
I was
Smiling
cast
through the
as
pain.
the drummer in School of Rock.
You're still fairly
I
small.
think
You
you
can
could
get away with it.
get back
Yeah.
in. Would you do it?
I would.
Yeah.
I probably am going to audition anyway.
Yeah,
I would.
COVID had a lot to answer for. There was a
Yeah.
lot of things that
Yeah.
unfortunately that fell to the side during that period of time. I mean, the
Yeah.
Ghost was one of them. That
Yeah.
was one of the biggest one. They were literally 2 days from getting into the
putting it on,
theatre,
yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
Curtains came down, theatre shut.
Well, our last school production was Annie, and Ailish and Kasha were Annie, and we finished literally the Friday before
Wow.
kind of lockdown started. So yeah, we were really, really lucky.
Yes, I mean it's always a relief to get that done and
Yep.
out of the way. It's such a shame to have had all those months of rehearsal to then not
To
be
not
able
do
to
it
do
at
I
all.
would
Yeah,
have
it's really
cried,
sad,
like,
yeah.
If that had happened
tears.
to Six, I would cry.
I would cry and I wouldn't get out of bed ever again.
No.
Okay, so just after the first lockdown back in 2020, we set up our Spotify playlist. This was a playlist. It was an idea of myself and with my friend Neil, who originally presented the podcast with me. The idea was to create the ultimate musical theatre playlist. Now, when Neil and I set it up, we put 10 songs in each because we thought no one really wants to listen to a playlist of 2 songs.
Yes.
So we set it up with 10 songs each, and there were songs from shows that either we've sung or from shows that we've been in or shows that mean something special to us. And that was how we started our list. And every person that's come onto the podcast since then has added a brand new song to the list. So let's start off with Claire. What song would you like to add to the playlist and why?
My song is For Now from Avenue Q, because we have done Avenue Q twice on the Isle of Man, as you know, Neil, because
Yes.
Emma was Kate Monster. It is hands down my favourite show that I've ever been involved in. I would do it again and again if we could. But most of the songs obviously aren't suitable to go on a Spotify playlist that lots of people listen to. But I think the last song in it, For Now, which has just got a great sentiment to it anyway, I think it's an absolutely brilliant song. So yeah, For Now from Avenue Q.
Brilliant.
Is my one.
The first one I think was in 2014, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Daniel over here, he was in Emma's tummy through
He
the
was,
production of the show.
Yeah, he was.
And there was a few songs which, when he's a bit older, I'll be able to play for him.
Yes.
But he would go a little bit crazy.
It was a brilliant show.
My girlfriend who lives in Canada is one of them.
Yes.
But obviously that's not a song for.
I think most of them, I don't think we could probably put on the playlist. But yeah, for Now is the one that I would be putting on.
Brilliant. Kasha?
So I was thinking Super Trooper from Mamma Mia, because Mamma Mia is iconic. One of my favourite musicals. Waitress and Mamma Mia are pretty much tied. And it was one of the first musical movies that I ever watched. And then I saw it on tour in Liverpool, and it was just like, yeah, great. Love
Brilliant.
at first sight.
Amazing.
I saw it in the West End and it was fantastic. And it's what's the song from the Stag and the Hen do? It's Dancing Queen. And they're going along and they start digging and throwing over their shoulders. I'm like, I've been doing that dance move in the clubs for like 20 years. And it's in the show. Clearly they've seen me on a night out.
Clearly.
Also, ABBA's just iconic. Like,
It
who
is.
doesn't love a bit of ABBA?
It's great.
You'd be lying to yourself.
And the set
Alright, chill out. You are lying to yourself.
the set in the West End was fantastic as well. They had a pathway through the middle which was like crazy paved, and it would kind of lift up and down, and the 2 walls sort of moved around outside it to create all the different scenes. It was a very clever set.
Yeah.
And there's a wonderful big moon at the end, but I was way up in the nosebleed, so
It's okay.
didn't appreciate the full effect of that last bit, sadly. Eve, what's your choice?
The song I have picked is You Can't Stop the Beat from Hairspray. Because again, I love Hairspray. It's amazing. It's the only musical I ever watched when I was a kid. And it's just amazing. It's just a brilliant vibe. And it's just so much fun. And there's nothing bad about it.
I mean, that
I
is.
had to think about that for a second.
It's also a pretty relentless song to
Yeah.
dance along to
It's amazing.
and sing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I can't even sing to it when I'm just like
Okay,
stopping.
yeah.
You can't stop the beat.
Yeah, I did it in Panto about 2007, I think it was, and that was the opening number. And then I had like a big, like half a page bit of dialogue with the audience. And I'm like,
That's how I feel after every Six number. I'm worn out.
I have to say, the Mega Six in Six is a similar kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
leave the
Yeah.
most frantic number till last.
crazy.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I can't handle it.
similar
I
kind
can
of
handle
vibe.
it. I
You
will
can
handle
I
it.
will handle it,
Yeah.
but for now I'll complain.
so basically the plan is then lots of cardio then over the next
Yeah.
sort of 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
When you
Just
get
keep
it,
doing
stop.
it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be
Keep
fit as a
going.
fiddle.
Excellent. Chi, what's your choice?
What I Did for Love from A Chorus Line.
Oh, beautiful.
I know, it's just
I know.
it's just a song with a lot of passion, and you can interpret it in so many different ways and apply it to any part of life. And we're also doing it in the Guild.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Well, we're doing it with our vocal group in the Guild
yeah.
this year. So it's one of our songs that we picked.
Which
More
are full
of
of
us.
icons.
Yeah.
Yet again.
Yeah.
Were you in a chorus line?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was in the
You were in
ensemble. Yeah, I wasn't in the line, but I was in the pit and in the ensemble.
You in the pit?
What were
Yeah,
we
I
doing in the
was
pit?
Singing.
Oh.
I
Oh,
got
they have
COVID
booth
as
singers
well.
in the pit.
Everyone got COVID.
Oh, yeah, I remember
Slowly.
that.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember that there was the night I went to see Chorus Line. I should have been in the Chorus Line to begin with, actually, but I
Yeah.
had to drop out because I had long COVID and I wasn't in a great place. But there was one night, because so many of the guys had COVID, when it came to cutting the guys from the final line, it was literally just Andrew Holstein was the only person to be cut from the line, who just sort of stood there, looked around and went, "What? Thanks, guys," and just walked off. I was like, "Nicely done, Andrew." Ailish, what's your choice?
I picked On Top of the World from Hunchback.
Oh, lovely.
I didn't really have a reason. It's just
A nice
really
song.
good song. Yeah.
It's just got a good beat.
It's just nice.
Well, I think Hunchback was one of those shows that not a lot of people knew about it
Yeah.
when they did it last year, and everyone was just blown away by it.
Yeah,
And the music was quite new to a lot of people, I think, and it was one of those that kind of did really genuinely blow people away when they saw it at the theatre.
Yeah, I think the only number I knew from it was A Day Out There.
Yeah,
And that was the only one that I knew going in, and just the sound, the wall of sound
Yeah.
that hit you from that choir was just amazing. Which Steve Dakin did a fantastic
Yeah,
job with
it
that,
was
and
a-
Elizabeth with this.
absolutely
I
great
love
show.
Steve.
Steve
love you,
is
Steve.
best, Steve.
Yeah, Steve, if you're listening.
Shout
And
out.
then this is the Steve Dakin fan club in here.
Steve.
I'm part of the fan club. Too,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Okay, well, ladies, those are some fantastic choices. We'll get those added onto the playlist for you. So, just to go back then, so we've got Six, the musical, the teen edition. It's at Bemahague School from the 28th to the 31st of March. And you can get your tickets from the school office at either the St Ninians or the Bemahague sites. Is that right?
Yep.
Right. Well, ladies, we wish you all the very best of luck.
Thank you.
And
so
no
much.
doubt, I'll be seeing you all back as leading ladies for the various societies in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the very best for the show, and I'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Manx Theatre Podcast with Neil Callin.
In the past couple of weeks, Centre Stage Productions have started preparations for next year's production of The School of Rock, with David Dawson and Steve Dakin announced as director and musical director, respectively. No doubt there'll be further information in coming weeks and months as they begin the process of finding the kids to make up the band. Elsewhere, Kensington Arts have announced their creative team for Everybody's Talking About Jamie Junior Edition, which will be staged at the end of April. The director will be Joe Hillard, Brisha Krukul will be choreographer, and the musical director will be Heather Dakin. The DCU have also announced their creative team for next year's production of Evita, which will see the return of Scott St Martin as director-choreographer. Steve Dakin returns again as musical director, as does Sarah Holland as assistant director. And Bryony Grant is stepping into Liz Dixon's well-worn shoes as assistant musical director. No doubt we'll hear from the Manx Operatic Society once they've recovered from their busy week on Annie Get Your Gun. Well, with that, we bring episode 45 to a close. Thanks once again to Claire, Kasia, Eve, Chi and Ailish for joining me on the podcast, and we wish them and everyone involved with the St Ninian's production of Six the Musical, Teen Edition, all the very best for their run. If you've not done so already, you can get your tickets from the school office at either the Bemahague or the St Ninian's Upper School sites. Remember to like and follow our social media pages to get notifications of upcoming episodes and events. Don't forget to check out our Spotify playlist by searching for Manx Theatre Podcast, and that's all one word. There's more than 70 tracks and over 5 hours of show tunes there to satisfy your musical theatre needs. If you have any events that you'd like us to talk about or promote on a future episode, you can contact me through our social media accounts or by email to manxtheatrepodcast@gmail.com. All that remains is to say thanks for listening, and I hope you join me again next time. I've been Neil Callin, and you've been listening to the Manx Theatre Podcast. Goodbye.
The Manx Theatre Podcast, taking a look behind the scenes of Manx Theatre.
And happy are men actors alive for me.